I say this to everybody. The minute you use Search GPT or Perplexity, you don't use Google again. You're done.
I mean, just in the time we're doing this interview, there's probably going to be 10 more changes and 10 more updates on AI that affect people. What's the number one thing affecting your clients right now?
I think the lack of understanding of AI. Too many people fail trying to get down the influencer world or trying to go down the marketing world by just trying to create tons and tons of content, which is great.
Mhm.
But if you don't pay the toll keeper, you're never going to be you're truly never going to get caught up in the algorithm.
What are your thoughts there of how you decide what to push if you're not getting, in relative terms, breakout content?
I think every single piece of content that you're testing out there to see if it's going to work or not, 100% has to have that down. I think adoption in AI overall is slow.
Do you know of anyone that does these better?
TikTok and Instagram, I believe, I don't know who came out with the report, but the report was crazy. By the end of next year, they believe AI influencers will not only have infiltrated the influencer marketplace, but they may potentially start grabbing all the market share from the top influencers.
Artificial intelligence is taking over everything. If you're not using AI to market your business, there's a good chance your doors might be closed in the near future. Our special guest today has been working in artificial intelligence marketing for more than 20 years. He's worked at the big banks, he's worked for small mom and pop companies, and today his company works with organizations all over the world trying to harness the power of artificial intelligence for all aspects of marketing. A warm welcome to our special guest, Len Ward. Len, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
I mean, just in the time we're doing this interview, there's probably going to be 10 more changes and 10 more updates on AI that affect people. What's the number one thing affecting your clients right now?
I think the lack of understanding of AI. They don't quite know what it is. They know they have to do it, but I think the number one problem my clients are facing and prospective clients are, they believe this is the internet from 1998 and that we have like a nice long runway of 20, 25 years to adapt, and get about 18 months tops to adapt. So I think that's a problem.
It does seem as though everything is happening much faster. Facebook took 5 years to get 100 million users, ChatGPT 60 days. What's the world going to look like in 18 months?
I think in 18 months, I think people are going to realize just how much AI is involved in their day-to-day activities, especially at work. If you are in the B2B sector or if you're in a service-based business, I think you're going to realize that it's almost like having AI is like a co-pilot. I don't mean Microsoft's co-pilot, but you have to have some sort of AI co-pilot to be able to produce or to be able to function at a high level at your job. I do think that's coming rapidly.
I mean, I do find myself, it's a rare 20-minute period where I'm not either going to ChatGPT or a news GPT, or I've got my own TJ Walker GPT or some other AI program, not to mention clones that I'm involved with. So it does seem like it's taking over and touching absolutely everything. And if you learn to use it, it saves a lot of time and creates a lot of better product too. I should point out our guest today is the founder of Commexis, empowering your business with AI-driven marketing and website solutions. So if you have questions for Len, we are live. You can post your questions right here in the comments section. We will address them and pick his brain more. As I mentioned, he's worked with everyone from the Credit Suisses of the world to smaller organizations and major companies all over the globe. So let's be really specific. How do you use AI to market your own business? You have Commexis, you have a consulting practice. How does it actually change your own day-to-day business?
So we build custom GPTs. So we build custom GPTs that basically mimics an employee. So we have a Commexis custom GPT. We actually call it marketing grade GPT. So we go to clients and we build what's called a marketing brain GPT. We create data rooms where we harness all of their past marketing, any types of assets, materials, analytics, whatever it may be. And we create a GPT that plugs in there and then harnesses all that data and helps them create strategy, advice on creative, runs all the content, runs all the social media. We get it to the point where it actually believes it is the company's CMO. It thinks it's a company's employee, and it probably knows more than everybody collectively at the company once it's at full speed. It's that strong.
Wow, compelling stuff there.
Yeah.
And forgive me, I put my media trainer's cap on one moment. I just committed a media training blunder. Never have your cell phone on while doing a live interview. So I've now turned it off. I'm not a fan of mute. I have my ringer off, but there's something about certain calls where if I don't pick up, it answers on my watch.
Yeah, I get the same thing.
I don't know why it does that. So forgive that faux pas. What is your take on companies using interactive video clones? That's the thing that personally excites me the most because of my own background as a media trainer and a public speaking trainer. I always got the best results working with people one-on-one in the same room where I'm video recording and it's 100% responsive. Mm-hmm. Then I shifted to online video courses, which is scalable and wonderful. And I've got 12 million student enrollments. It's a great business, but you lose all the interactivity. And frankly, people just don't do the work. And then I found a company that could make a digital clone for me. So I have my, everything I've ever written, every book I've ever written, every video, every online course, I've got a digital brain, and maybe your company does this too, of about 15,000 files, 12 million words of mine into a brain that can then talk to people where it looks kind of like me and sounds like me. That's what I'm most excited about. But I want to know your take. What are you seeing as the adoption rate? How fast is that going to happen? Because I got in way too early with online training. I started online training in 1998. So I made no money for 15 years, and then it took off. I want to know your take on this. By the way, if you have questions for Len, we've just posted a link in StreamYard. You can actually come online and talk to him directly. So, Len, your thoughts?
I mean, I think adoption in AI overall is slow. I am surprised at the amount of companies that are hesitant to use it. So in regards to the video clone, I'm fascinated by that stuff. It's funny. I just got done reading something about an artist, and I forget who it was, but they're talking about the next big breakthrough on that is when artist family of past people that have passed away, or maybe aging artists and so forth, like, will AI write a brand new song? And you're actually thinking the individual is actually singing it and so forth, or being interviewed, and how will people adapt and embrace to it? I think they absolutely will embrace it. I think for meetings and teaching and that, I think the demand for video content is so high and is only going to continue to grow that I think the next logical solution is exactly what you're talking about. I really do like it. I even heard on a podcast somebody was saying about how meetings are going to move into that. You're going to have a virtual clone, and then you're going to be like, it knows all the information, like you said, and it's actually going to conduct a full meeting, and you're not even there. It's the clone, which to me is wild, but that's where we're headed.
It's exciting times. Now, I see on your Commexis web, and people want to check it out, they can go to commexis.com, COMMEXIS.com. You do have, I guess, a chat bot.
AI chat. Mm-hmm.
An AI chat. How often do you find people using it? And does that enhance your sales process for people who will do that, whereas in the past they could have sent an email but didn't want to bother?
The interaction is light. We do have it on quite a few of our client sites. So for us, it's a little light. But for some of our other clients, especially with products for troubleshooting, if they're selling something like an actual product, the demand is actually really high and it's actually very strong. They have to be trained right. I've come across AI chatbots that are really clunky because it's not crawling the right information. But then when you have the right data room set up, you make sure it's crawling the website properly and you have everything together and you really train it. That you should be training it using a GPT to kind of help you train what the AI bot should be saying. It's highly, highly effective. And it can actually save companies quite a bit of money when you think about the staff you don't necessarily need to be doing some customer service reporting and customer service handling.
So people may want to check out that bot, or if you're seeing this on demand and you can't talk to Len live, as you could right now if you joined us, you may want to check out his bot on Commexis and ask a question. Yep. And then while I've got you, we didn't talk about this in advance, but you clearly have the expertise to give me some advice. So I'm all in on the concept of digital clones because with what I do, helping people communicate effectively and life skills, they need to see me and I need to see them. So that's why I have audio, video, and text. The video is what excites me the most because that's what people tend to value the most. I mean, if someone paid you $30,000 a month retainer and they wanted to meet with you on Zoom, they would expect you to see your face. They wouldn't expect you just to have a phone call as you're walking down the street in the park, right?
Correct. Yeah,
So
correct.
that's why I'm doing the video. I want to get your opinion, though, of what I need to do better to perhaps market it more effectively. I'll just give you a quick sample, and I want your honest opinion. I'm using a platform called Delphi, but I'm on the lookout for other platforms. If you know of a better platform, I'm not wedded. I'm not the technologist. I didn't create this. I just want something that allows me to speak to people the way I would if they were meeting with me in real life and paying a lot of money they would for a regular training.
Hi, I'm TJ's clone. How may I help you?
Hi, TJ. My name is Len, and I'm going on CNBC tomorrow to talk about my technology marketing company, Commexis. I'm wondering if you can give me tips on how to look and sound my best on CNBC and what messages I could use to resonate with the audience on CNBC.
Hey, Len, great to hear you're gearing up for CNBC. Let's make sure you shine. First off, your suit is a solid choice, professional and sharp. Just make sure it fits well and is comfortable so you can focus on your message rather than adjusting your outfit. Now about your setting. The cozy vibe with the blue lighting is nice, but you might want to ensure it's not too distracting. Maybe adjust the lighting to highlight your face more clearly. When it comes to your message, think about what makes Commexis unique. What problem are you solving for your customers?
Okay, we won't go through the whole thing, but that gives you a little
Very interesting.
taste of what I'm trying to do. So, question for you, because I've had this about 6 months, and I haven't being totally transparent. People like it, they're using it, but I haven't gotten to the point where it's beyond a mere curiosity. The number of people who I get who say, yeah, I want that, I'm ready to pay for a membership and use it regularly is very small. Whereas people have no problem paying for online courses. I have 12 million student course enrollments. So I'm trying to figure out, is this going to take 15 years the way online courses did, or is it going to happen faster? Or am I doing something wrong? Or do I have the wrong platform? Your thoughts?
Where are you marketing this right now?
Well, I've put out press releases. I've been a guest on a million other people's podcasts. I talk about it incessantly in my own podcast, email newsletters. The main way I market it is I embed it within my online courses. So when someone comes to a course of mine on how to speak to the media or how to have good habits, I say, by the way, as a part of this course at no extra charge, you can ask my digital clone any time of day or night, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in any language, a question, because every lecture I have in a course is automatically uploaded into the clone. So we will answer any questions. So that's my main way of doing it, is I'm essentially giving away access. They get the first 8 minutes for free. They get a lot of questions they can ask by text, but they can call the video side or the audio side and do a dozen or so questions for free. So that's the main way I'm marketing it.
So if I'm coming in and I'm buying this product, are you recording me, or are we using your clone, or like are you creating a clone of me? Like what is the?
That was the clone of me. So that was created when someone comes on. I mean, you saw me on the bottom left. So that was a live feed of me. Okay. That's why it looked weird, because it was pulling from my laptop. That's why that light, see, this light would normally never show when I'm doing my regular broadcast here, because it's designed that way. So that's why my clone actually picked up. You may have heard it say, hey, there's a distracting light behind you.
Right.
So it is recording that conversation. So if I wanted to review it, it's there. Now, I'm not sharing it with anyone else. So people they're very revealing. They talk about their insecurities, or they're nervous about a job interview. because the clone doesn't just answer questions. It can give feedback, as you saw. It can give suggestions on messages. But if I asked it to, it would actually do a complete rehearsal of the CNBC interview. And I could record it, would then give me feedback. I could then watch it too, because as soon as the call is over, I hit a button and I can watch the video again. I can share it with anyone if I want. So that's the functionality of it.
So,
do you know of anyone that does these better?
No, but I know what you can do. So you're telling me the product would be, I purchase your product and then I have access to interacting with you.
Yes.
Is that what it is? That's what it is. All right.
Yes.
So you're falling into the AI influencer world, which I don't know if you know much about that. That's something a lot of people don't know. TikTok and Instagram, I believe, I don't know who came out with the report, but the report was crazy. By the end of next year, they believe AI influencers will not only have infiltrated the influencer marketplace, but they may potentially start grabbing all the market share from the top influencers. And it's exactly what you have. So what you want to do is you want to try to devise a strategy and do more research using ChatGPT, Perplexity, and so forth, and identify a way in which you can develop a content calendar which starts to make you an influencer on those two platforms. I would favor TikTok over Instagram, and try to identify where that goes. Make sure you're using, whatever your clientele may be. You want to try to make sure the TikTok algorithm is very funny. It's very weird, but it's the best algorithm I've ever seen in digital marketing. It's that strong. But that's where that's the road I can put you down. So it is AI influencer marketing. It is a real thing. And a lot of the influencers that people are going to be interacting with are much like you. It's recorded. Some of the individuals are not even real people. They're put together by
They are the clone itself.
They are the clone. But that's where you want to go, because that is the thing. That's the next big horizon in influencer marketing. So what you're doing is not far. You just want to kind of pivot a little bit to the right and definitely get to know AI influencer marketing on TikTok, which I think the results you'd find in a couple months will be really, really good.
Well, maybe, I don't know. Have you done this for many of your other clients? The reason I ask is, I have spent a fortune and a massive amount of time putting thousands of videos, essentially doing exactly what you've said, and I'm getting no traction. I've been on and off YouTube since it found it. I have a few million views, certainly not some viral sensation, but certainly for the last 15 months, I've been on every single day doing live things. We're on YouTube right now, doing live on TikTok quite often, other places, editing down things, talking about this clone and personal development and communication skills. I've hired every kind of editor. We've done short form, long form, spent another $25,000 upgrading the studio, a lot of money on different editors. Every single time I spend more money and get better editors, viewership goes down. It just generates absolutely nothing. I get maybe 100,000 views a month if you add up every YouTube short and TikTok short, but it's not bringing anyone into the clone.
So your money is in the wrong spots. That's one of the things that we do, which is marketing investment allocation. I think that's what we do best using AI information. Everything you've talked about is fine, but if you don't put money behind your clips, like if you don't do TikTok sponsor, if you don't put a little bit of money on Instagram or YouTube, it's not going to work. Everybody tries to say, well, I'm just going to create more content. At the end of the day, Facebook does $40 million a quarter, which is Instagram. Google does 53, or not million, billion. Google is billion. They don't do that because people are putting free stuff. So unfortunately, you are set. You have everything you need. Even old content you think may be good, kind of go in and repurpose that and start putting some money behind it. I'm trying to build an audience. GPT will build that audience for you. Say, this is what I'm trying to accomplish. Tell me what audience I need to go after on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. It'll build that audience for you. Put a couple bucks behind those things and start getting that velocity and gain that traction. Too many people fail trying to get down the influencer world or trying to go down the marketing world by just trying to create tons and tons of content, which is great. But if you don't pay the toll keeper, you're truly never going to get caught up in the algorithm you want to get caught up in, unless you have something completely out of this world that nobody's ever seen before. So that would be my advice: put money there, and it's not going to cost you a fortune.
And I mean, I've spent a lot of money on advertising in the
Mhm.
past and failed miserably every single time. I do. You may have mixed feelings about Gary Vaynerchuk. I do look
I
at
like
his
Gary.
stuff from
Yeah,
time to time.
yeah.
I mean, one of the things he does say is throw a lot out there, test, and then when you see something that does a lot better than others, then put advertising behind it. I'm just not finding the breakouts, and I've tried a lot of different styles, different aspects of niches of my content. It's not like I put out 20 and one of them gets 10,000 and the other all get 500. And now it's easy to just put money promoting the one with 10,000. What are your thoughts there of how you decide what to push if you're not getting in relative terms breakout content?
I think every single piece of content that you're testing out there to see if it's going to work or not, 100% has to have ad dollars behind it. There's no, we can't get around. These are some of the largest companies in the world, and you keep coming after earnings report after earnings report. Their entire goal is to say we meet or beat street expectations and so forth. So I know that there's a lot of people out there with content, and you do build up a following, and then you can start pulling back a little bit because now you're making TikTok so much money that they're paying you. Mm-hmm. That can happen. But to kind of break through, it's almost like I have these are the top pieces I think work. I'm putting the money behind it, looking at the metrics and kind of trying to find out what's happening from there. But unfortunately, the days of like lead balloon and testing up in social, if you're not paid, we don't see much success from it. Mm-hmm. We really don't.
Our special guest today is Len Ward. He is the managing partner of Commexis, an online AI-driven marketing and website solutions company. Len, tell us about one of your recent successes. What is someone saying when they come to you? What did you do for them, and what was the result?
I think one of the things that we're talking about, I'll leave the company unnamed,
that's fine.
We're blown away by is we basically moved them into the AI first world, and we created a marketing brain GPT, AI chatbot, and we started building a bunch of data rooms for them. And we were genuinely really, really surprised at the information that was coming back. We've been marketing this company for years, but the information that was coming back from the GPT and the recommendations that were coming back from the GPT blew us away. We could not believe the level of detail this was getting down to, opened our eyes up in various different levels of marketing that we never thought about, told us ways in which, avenues we shouldn't be spending money on, although we kind of thought we should because of our analytics. But it really was the first breakthrough where we took a step back and we're like, me personally, I took a step back. I'm like, we could get every single person in that company, it's a very large company, in a room collectively that's ever worked for the company and are still working for the company and will work for the company the next 10 years. And I'm going to put a computer screen in front, and I guarantee this computer screen knows more than every single person collectively just by asking questions. That was the aha moment where we came through, where we reached a point and said, if you are not implementing AI and using ChatGPT for much more than just writing a blog post, we got to the point where we said, we can't unsee what we've seen. Now we've gone all chips in, moving all companies there. And anybody we talk to, the first conversation starts with, what do you know about AI? Because we're going to move you into AI. Mm-hmm. So I think that you want to call it a success.
Okay. And first of all, what's the profile of the typical client you work with? What size company? And second of all, how does a company like that figure out who can guide them? Because you probably get more than I do. I get 100 emails a day and 100 LinkedIn pitches a day saying, hey, I'm the latest, greatest AI expert on marketing. Can I take a call with you? How does someone wade through all that?
Well, I think so when you build custom GPTs and you're working in the AI world, you can't just say, okay, I understand AI and I'm going to have that run marketing campaigns. The way custom GPTs work is you have to have a level of experience and expertise in that industry, so you know exactly how to train these GPTs. You have to have documentation. I was telling a client earlier today, we have 20 years of documentation in every way in which we've done digital marketing. So when we build a custom GPT, everything from how to truly establish a return on investment, how to understand a buyer's journey, so you install all that and you train that in a custom GPT. And at that point, prospective clients understand, they're saying, okay, so you took all the information you have on 20 years and now you basically are training an AI to amplify that. And that's what we say. So when you're working with somebody who's like, I'm an AI expert, okay, that's good. In what field? Not just an AI expert. So I think that's where we have to start getting to. It's like, okay, I'm an AI expert in the medical field for marketing. This is what I do. Or I'm an AI expert in the legal field, for how to filing cases or whatever it may be. Like, they're the ones you want to talk to, not just a general, I listen to 2 or 3 podcasts and I play around ChatGPT. I'm not knocking it, but these are the same people that were telling you they're going to rank you on Google with SEO and all that because they just kind of, dabbled around in it. There's the expertise and how you apply that within AI truly, truly separates the real people from the people where people wouldn't be giving money to.
Let's go a little deeper into the GPT. So I have, you'll probably laugh at it. I have a GPT built with a couple freelancers from Fiverr. This is kind of the least expensive, I guess, low rent way. It has all of my books in it. It does not have the transcripts from my 300 online courses or anything. It doesn't do video. It doesn't do audio in my voice. How does someone get the most out of their own GPT? If, let's say they are a subject matter expert. And is anyone monetizing? I haven't figured out, I haven't even tried to monetize this other than at the end of some of the answers, it says, go to my website. But how are smaller businesses and subject matter experts using GPTs?
Well, you can add your custom GPT to the store. If you add,
yeah, so mine is in the, you can find mine by hitting explore. I don't know if it's technically in the store. I thought it was, but can you be on? I'm in Chat GPT. Doesn't that mean I'm in the store?
No, you have to actually sign up to let it be known. When you create your GPT, there's three things in the back that you can pick from. It's like me only, somebody with a link, and then available in the store. If you go in the store, once you're in there, then you can monetize it they can use it for a little bit. But then if I'm correct, there's some sort of paywall. And I don't really know that process because we haven't really entered anything into the store yet, although we're getting ready to enter a few things in there. And then they have
they have paywalls as well then. Okay.
Yeah, there's a way in which you can go about it. As a matter of fact, if you go to ChatGPT and try to build a GPT, say I want to put it in the store, can you tell me how to monetize it? And it literally would tell you right there. The biggest problem we find with people building custom GPTs is you have to have a goal in mind. What are you trying to accomplish? Like what is the purpose of the GPT? What is the outcome that individuals are going to get? And don't try to make the GPT so overly bloated that it's really hard for it to process through a lot of information. So have a larger overriding GPT, and then don't be afraid to have little niche GPTs underneath it where you can pull the data from. Like an example, if you go in message TJ Walker, if you just, if you go it'll pull that news section down, and now it's interacting with both GPTs. So without getting too technical, you can have GPTs work with each other. Too many times people are building these monstrosity GPTs, and it's too much information you're trying to put in there.
Now you said you don't want it too bloated. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. So with my main AI digital brain, I put everything in it. So everything I say, every podcast, just my words, not my guest, everything, every tweet is automatically uploaded into my digital clone. So if someone asks me a question that relates to that, it then talks back to them in a conversational way. Are you suggesting that might cause me problems?
No, it's interesting. Like, how are you, so they're putting that in like some sort of data room for you? Like upload to Dropbox or something like that? Like all your information is clearly going in there?
It's all going into a Delphi database that they
and then you build the bridge over the GPT for it to go.
Well, no, this is not, this is just its own thing. This is not connected to my GPT. My GPT is completely separate.
That's there.
So the clone is a platform called Delphi.ai.
Okay.
So
I'm not too familiar with AI. I'd have to look at that. That I don't understand. I was just going off the custom GPT. There's probably endless amounts of information you can put on there, and it's probably running on top of an LLM. So it's probably running on top of ChatGPT in some capacity. You're asking it a voice prompt and it's coming back, unless maybe they have their AI technology. I don't know.
Our guest again is Len Ward. He is the managing partner of Commexis. specializing in AI consulting and digital transformation. Len has predicted that in the next 18 months, we are going to see radical change to business. What is your advice to someone who right now, let's say it's a small, relatively small company, 3 or 4 person firm, founder led. They've got clients, maybe they have some products. They're trying to keep a website up. They got a newsletter. They do some social media. They're doing okay. They're not making millions and millions of dollars a year personally, but they're doing okay. What do they need to be thinking about right now, given that they don't have some huge IT department? Maybe they've got $100,000, $150,000 of marketing budget to think about how do we do things smarter. What would you do for them? And what do you think they should be focused on right now?
I think they should be focusing on how AI is going to implement their company. I think they should start having interactions with Claude, ChatGPT. You could go to meta.com. I forget what the Facebook website is. Llama's a very underrated LLM, by the way. You can use it. It's actually impressive. But even ChatGPT, to make it simple, and start interacting with ChatGPT. Start telling it what your website is. Start telling it what your business is. You can actually, if you do the paid version, you can actually do Search GPT. So really start to get to understand what AI understands about your business. Post some business problems on there. Say, here's my process for, how we run things. And is there any advice on how you could make it quicker, make it better? So it's really getting to understand AI, interacting with it, and seeing how you can apply it to your business. And remember, I tell people this all the time. ChatGPT and LLMs are not a search engine. It's not like Google. You're not going to go in and say, oh, give me all these results. That's not what it is. It is there to solve your problem. If you use Search GPT, yeah, that's a hybrid of a search engine, much like Perplexity is as well. But the biggest advice I have as a founder, either identify somebody at your company, but that shouldn't be it. It should be you. Take the hour or 2 a day, listen to a podcast, play around with ChatGPT, and really pay attention to what's going on in the AI world. Just do not find yourself. The problem is this: if you're not taking the time to learn, in 18 months' time, there's going to be a lot of companies that are going to build a moat. Your competitor is so large that the cost to covering that moat is going to be really expensive. Don't be that company.
Forgive sage words. I certainly remember other technology revolutions where people waited too long. Sometimes I waited too long, and you don't catch up.
No.
You mentioned Search GPT. I'm not sure I even know what that is.
That's a little globe right there. See that little globe in the thing? Click that globe.
Yes. Okay, search the web.
So you could just, there you go. Now just search anything. Like search, I don't know.
Okay.
AI consulting, AI clone consulting, or whoever we talked about. You got that.
And how is that different than if I had just typed in initially, tell me about Jay Leno?
Well, because you can interact. So maybe you're trying to learn more about Jay Leno. Maybe you're trying to emulate Jay Leno. Maybe there's something about Jay Leno that solves a problem. I don't think ChatGPT is trying to compete with Google necessarily. I think what they're trying to say is, let's use AI to solve a problem, to create a process, to make your workflow easier. And if you need to search, to kind of have some more foundational pieces to help you out, that's what Search GPT is for. I say this to everybody. The minute you use Search GPT or Perplexity, you don't use Google again. You're done. Any reason.
I had not been using the search. I had just been typing right into, this is the pro version of GPT. I find myself using Google less and less and less. And I find myself asking myself, wouldn't it be nice to know? And then I realize I've been asking myself that question for years. Why don't I just type it in to ChatGPT? Is there another AI you think is better that people are really doing a disservice to themselves by not giving it a chance along with ChatGPT?
I think ChatGPT is the greatest thing. I really do. I think they're so far and away than everybody. I think there's some cool things that Google's doing from an AI perspective. I love their notebook LLM. If nobody's done that, do it. That's crazy. That's a thing where basically they can take your blog post, or they can take written content and turn it into a podcast. Meaning like 2 people are talking back and forth. That is a wild AI thing. But no, I think if you're going to get out on AI, you want to learn, and those are LLMs, large language models. AI is the industry, large language models. I think ChatGPT to me is far and away the best. I do like Claude. Claude's really great for content writing. But when it comes to actually diving into data, talking to your data, helping you solve problems, building custom GPTs, there's nothing like ChatGPT.
Okay, great. Well, we very much appreciate your time, Len. The website is Commexis. You're on LinkedIn as well. How do you prefer people try to reach out to you if they have a question or they're possibly looking to hire services from a company like yours?
They can always just go to the contact box, fill out a form. You're always going to talk to me. So I'm the one that's kind of leading the AI charge here. So whenever the form comes through and somebody was talking about AI, it's normally us getting on a Zoom call or a phone call, or if you're in the Philadelphia region, we sit down and have a conversation about it.
Great. All right. Len Ward, thank you for being our guest today. Again, the website is commexis.com. I'm TJ Walker. See you next time.
Thanks, TJ.